Hello and welcome to Support in the Stand. I'm your host Josh, and today we're getting the channel off to a cracking start as we're discussing the second old firm of the season. Now of course Celtic and Rangers are going into this game in good form. Celtic have won 6 of their last games. Meanwhile Rangers, very impressively, have only suffered 1 loss for the entire season. And that of course coming against St Mirren in the Cup. But going into this game, both sides are going to see this as a must-win. Rangers are going to see it as a must-win, as at the moment they currently hold a 16-point lead over Celtic, but Celtic do have 3 points in hand. Take 3 wins from those 3 games, you're down to 7 points. That right there is a tall mountain to climb for Celtic, but if Rangers can win tomorrow, that will drag that out to 10 points. And I think that, based on what we've seen so far of this Celtic team, that is just too tall of a task. Meanwhile, as I said, this is also a very important game for Celtic, as I mentioned earlier with the points, the title race and the hopes of the 10 are hanging on by a bare thread, and if Celtic are going to have any hope of lifting the title over their heads in May, they have to start by doing it tomorrow. But it's maybe the hardest way you could try and start a league running form against the league leaders at their home ground, which just so happens to be Rangers at Ibrox. Now this is a game that Celtic are going into with a big injury and a big loss, with Christopher Julian out after his knee collided with the post during the Dundee United match. Now, as time of recording, I do not know how serious of an injury that is, or whether or not he will be playing tomorrow. But judging by the fact that he was in quite a lot of pain, quite a lot of discomfort, and he had to be stretchered off the park, leads me to believe that he will not be playing tomorrow. And if that is the case, then the only choice for Celtic, in my opinion, is Neil Baton. Because Neil Baton is a far better option than Shane Duffy. Shane Duffy has been nothing but erratic, and he's never shown anything to make him look like a Celtic defender. Yes, he scored a few goals from corners, and yes, he's a good aerial threat, but he's not going to do anything against Rangers. He is slow, and as I said, he gives very stupid fouls. And against Rangers, Delb, with likes of Alfredo Morelos and Ryan Kent, you touch him and they faint. So there's no way Shane Duffy should be starting. And unfortunately, another player who I do not think should be anywhere near the team is Scott Brown. I know that some fans will not be happy, but I feel like the majority of Celtic fans will agree with me when I say that Scott Brown should not even be considered as an option. Ismail Soro has come in, and I think he's been exactly what this Celtic team need. He gives them that strength in the midfield, he gives them that energy, and he gives them the legs. Because in the last, I'd say 4 out of the last 5 derbies, Celtic have been very much overwhelmed in the midfield, and especially in the last derby, which Rangers won 2-0, Celtic did not have a single shot on target in that game, and Scott Brown looked like a lost old man inside a shop. So I don't think he has any justification for starting. And I'm just going to briefly talk about that 2-0 defeat, because I do think it is very relevant to tomorrow. Celtic's defence looked extremely shaky, the midfield battle was lost from minute 1, and the attack, Rangers just marked them. They had nothing to offer, because the Rangers' defence was simply too strong. Rangers in that game did everything right. They honestly looked like a 5-star team. They looked like a team that could outclass Celtic anytime, anywhere. And I definitely need to say that Celtic have to come out and they have to fight. I will not even worry about the result. They just need to show something, because in that last game Celtic was spineless. They had nothing to them. They never even looked like they were going to give any threat to Rangers. In that game, honest to God, I'd fancy Hamilton Aki's chances against Rangers more than I would that Celtic side. So I can only hope, and surely Celtic are going to put much more of a fight this game. As for what Rangers are going to do, I simply think, I can't really comment on that. I just think that if it's not broken, don't fix it. Just do what they've done for the last few derbies, and that is get in Celtic's face. That is beat Celtic to the ball, and that is to go up there with more determination and more hunger and more fight, because that is what Rangers have always had on Celtic. They wanted it more. I do not know what's happening, because I remember Celtic teams in the past would fight tooth and nail for a derby, yet in the last three they've never really shown any fight. So in terms of how the game will go though, I do think we'll see a bit more from Celtic, but at the end of the day I do not think it will be anything near enough to get the victory. In terms of a result, if I had to predict it, I would say a 3-1 Rangers win. With probably, I'm going to say Kemar Roofe scoring 2, and I think Connor Goldson will once again spit a nail in the Celtics title race coffin and score 1. As for Celtic, probably David Turnbull, as he is probably the best attacking threat other than maybe Rhys Griffiths Celtic have at the minute. But that is me. Sorry for the shorter video. The videos will be longer in the future. Join me after the game tomorrow. I will be live streaming to give my full thoughts on the game. As you know, this is the first video on the channel, so any score predictions, how do you think the game will go? Leave all those in the comment section below. I'm very interested to hear from both sets of supporters. So put those down below and join me tomorrow. Give your thoughts on the game, let your voice be heard, and I'll try and respond to as many comments as possible if there is any there at all. Take care, like, share and subscribe, and thank you.